Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about a DEEPCOOL product which is right here. So this is Macube 310 case with tempered glass side panel. You have really nice design and actually really cool functional side panels. Now when I say cool and functional, this is what I mean. It's magnetic and it's actually really strong magnet, so you do need to hold the case when you're pulling it off and just pop it out, slide it out, however you want. Pop it out, yeah, let's put it like pop it out. Now when we're talking about the interior, you have loads of space. I don't even have to mention that, but you have an opening here for your power supply. If you, I don't know, if you have an RGB power supply or something, or if you want to, I don't know, it's right here. You have an opening for a power supply. On the top side of the power supply shroud, you have two huge hole openings for audio connectivity from the front panel. You have the USB 2.0 and everything that goes right here at the bottom. Also RGB connections directly to your motherboard. Now the front side of the power supply shroud, right there where you can place your radiator and your fans, you can basically see it has loads of clearance, so you can place a 360 radiator and fans without touching the power supply shroud. So this gives you enough space for placing a huge radiator and managing whatever you wish. Now the one thing I'm curious is the possibility to place a 360 radiator as well on top, but I do need to check the clearance for the motherboard, which we'll get to that later on. Now you have an openings here with rubber grommets, 24-pin cable that goes directly to your motherboard, then you have the front USB 3.0 ports and stuff like that. What they added here also is the anti-sag bracket that you can adjust after you adjust the GPU. So when you place the GPU on your motherboard, then you slide the anti-sag bracket and then you tie it up on the other side. Since I mentioned the other side, this is how you access the back side of the case. So there's no fuss, no screws, no need for screwdriver. It's the same thing as the tempered glass as I removed it. So you just pop it out, take it out, and this is it. There's no problem because the side panels are really strong connected with magnets, so there's no problem with that, or you think it might fall off or something like that. So yeah, it's really cool. Here on the back side you have two 2.5-inch brackets for your SSDs. On top of the back side you have a PWM fan controller for 4 fans, so you can manage that as well, and then directly connect it to a motherboard so you can synchronize the speeds without any problems. You have Velcro ties here that you could tie up your cables that go and reroute them nicely. Even the 24-pin can nicely go through that. Now, as I mentioned, the top part has USB 3.0, you have the audio jack, you have the power switch, and you have the power LEDs as well as the reset switch. And that's basically it. At the bottom, where you have the two 3.5-inch hard drive cages, you have loads of screws, standoffs, zip ties, and you have additional standoffs most likely for anti-sag for the GPU. As you can see right here at the back, this is how you place the anti-sag bracket, and you just tie up the thumb screw. That's basically all there is to it. There's enough space at the bottom for a nice power supply, which can go up to 160 millimeters. When it comes to length of the GPU, 330 millimeters, and the clearance for the CPU tower cooler is 165 millimeters. Now it's time for some thermals. I'm not going to lie, it was really an experience building inside the DEEPCOOL Macube 310. Now especially the white color is really nice when it comes to contrast with the black interior and the white outside, but you do have to say that this is really cool. Just with the magnetic pull you release the tempered glass, and as I said, you release the backside as well on the same mechanism, so there's no fuss about it. The only thing you do need to take care is the backside. You do need to arrange your cables perfectly, because if you don't, you can't close the backside. So that's the only thing, and I think DEEPCOOL did that well, they didn't do it on purpose, but let's say they did. So they're forcing you to do a perfect cable management behind the case so you can close the lid. I mean, this is really cool because they force you to do something useful and to make a decent cable management. Now, when we're talking about the case, you have loads of space for the GPU. As you can see, RTX 2080 Super Gaming X Trio fits perfectly inside. We have the Castle on top, 240X, and two fans on front, 120mm, one fan at the back. You can place a radiator in the front as well. 360, I could have placed one more 120, but there's no use. I mean, everything cools as it is. But when we're talking about the temperatures, let's check some out. So when it comes to CPU cooling and in heavy load, getting 100% usage on the CPU for about 25 minutes, I got 69 Celsius degrees, which is quite alright. I mean, the intake may be a bit clogged from the front, but when we take into consideration every other temperature, you'll see why it's not. So, which are on ultra details, you have CPU running at 45%, 61 Celsius degrees. Then we have GPU on 64 degrees. I placed the lower fan directly to blow inside the graphic card so it kind of gets more airflow through it. Then we had Tomb Raider on highest. I played that like almost an hour. Basically I finished the game, so yeah, that's a different story. CPU 46%, 65 Celsius degrees. GPU 68 Celsius degrees. Then we had PUBG on ultra details. CPU was 35% at 60 degrees and GPU was 85% average. It was constantly going 70, 95. That PUBG isn't well arranged game whatsoever. So 85 average, 66 Celsius degrees average on PUBG. Basically, I would definitely say that this case is outstanding. Even though it has smaller intake, it does get enough air to cool the RTX 2080 Super. The CPU is also cooled nicely. Oh, I didn't mention it's Intel Core i9-9900KF, so it's not a lower mid-range processor, it's a high-end CPU from Intel, and it does cool perfectly. I mean, I'm really surprised because first I was really afraid with the side intake and the top outtake because it's closed. You can see on front it's completely closed, there's no openings on the front side, but these side parts cool perfectly. And when we take everything into consideration, I think it's really appropriate because you have a perfect design, and when I say perfect, you have no flaws when it comes to final finish of the case. You have a really nice temperatures, easy removable side panels, and I think it's appropriate to give this case a PC Crazy Best Buy award badge, just because, as I said, you can place 360 here, 360 at the top. You do need to be a bit careful because the top passive cooler from the motherboard might be touching the top fan, so be very careful when placing everything. I did manage to squeeze it, but if you're not careful you might not succeed in this. So 360 on front, full length GPU. I don't think there's any longer graphic card than RTX 2080 Super Gaming X Trio. I did manage to squeeze an even longer power supply. The only thing that is basically a negative thing is that you can't remove the hard drive cage if you don't drill it out. I tried, it doesn't go out. I think it was placed inside before placing the power supply shroud, but okay, nevertheless. So yeah, PC Crazy Best Buy badge for the DEEPCOOL MACUBE 310 in white version. What else to say, guys? The links are below for you guys to check out the price and everything. You'll see why it's a best buy. So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button, and see you in another one. Bye bye.